to use the phone to see some comments.
Okay, let me do that now.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget to remind them to give StreamYard permission.
Permission. Absolutely. Ah, I'm gonna use my laptop for this.
Come on, let me do your lashes. Hurry. Okay. The lashes. Oh, give me 1 second, Mike. Sorry.
Okay. All right. While we logging on, we waiting for people to log on and join the group. Let me share it to all my people out here. Let me share this. All right.
And where are we now? Okay, there we are. Thank you. Whenever you're ready, Mike.
All right. We can wait a couple more minutes and see if anybody else log on, and then we can go from there.
Okay.
It's going to be a beautiful Saturday.
Yep. We're excited.
Beautiful Saturday. Let me close this. Apps. Too many things open here. Okay. All right. So welcome everybody to our peer recovery connection group. My name is Michael Williams, one of the regional directors for M.A.T. This is in Japa's the New Jersey affiliate. Uh, we want to welcome everybody who's logging on now, or anybody that might want to watch this later. We welcome you to Peer Recovery Connection Group today.
Thank you, Mike. Hi, my name is Carlita Singletary, and I am a nationally certified peer recovery support specialist. I am the M.A.T. New Jersey affiliate in Japa peer liaison for the state, and we welcome you on this morning. We're excited. We're going to have a great conversation about some topics. Someone says hi, sponsor. Okay. I'm not sure who that is because I can't see that it's a Facebook user. Please make sure to give StreamYard permission to use your face and your name so that you can make comments and we can actually also see them because we're looking from our desktops, right, Mike?
Yes, yes, yes. So some we will call your names out when you give them the permission. Until then, we don't want to just in case you don't want your name read, so I won't say it. But what's up, Brian? That's my Brian Spencer logged on from on a YouTube channel.
All
Actually,
right, great,
he's on a
very good,
YouTube channel. What's going
nice,
on, man?
nice.
I'm so proud of him.
Welcome, Brian. Thank you for joining us on today.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go into just our introductions. As we said, Mike and I, we oversee this particular Facebook Live group, and we welcome all of the
Yeah,
peers across the state and anyone that may not be a peer yet, but in pursuit of your certification
yeah,
and your credentialing. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is a place where you can talk about some of the things that you may be experiencing with your recoveries, participants, or consumers,
yeah,
whatever the name is that your company or agency uses to refer to the people that you work and serve with in this particular field. We're excited. This is a safe and brave place for us. You know, we do a lot of work
yeah,
that's pouring out into our recoveries as well as just in the field itself. And we know that is high demand for this particular job. This field is in high demand across
yeah.
the state of New Jersey. It's a bittersweet kind of demand because of all of the overdose deaths
That's right.
in people that are battling with substance use disorders. We definitely understand the need for this particular component, but
Yeah,
also the sweet part about it is that as peers, we get an opportunity to build and capitalize off of our lived experience, coupled with those that have educational credentialing. It's just a really, really good, healthy, wholesome, and balanced component that we bring to the table when it comes to health care. And the key word is on the care part, right?
yeah.
So welcome, welcome, welcome.
And also anybody out there that may not be a peer worker and you would like to get into it, because peer literally means somebody that has the same type of experience. So if you would like to look into becoming a certified peer recovery support specialist, please let us know in the comment section, and I will one of us will connect with you and show you all the things that's required in that process of being certified as a peer recovery support specialist, which is like she was saying, Miss Carlita was saying, is so needed right now because of the high rate of all the overdose and everything. Me personally, I can't see anything me doing anything else other than like trying to help other individuals in the same area I came from. It's like it's literally my purpose for living.
Yeah,
So if you out there and you would like to get into it, I can send you some stuff that you can read up on and start that process
yeah,
of becoming a peer certified support specialist. All
yeah.
right.
We
So
know
remember, just put something in the comment section, and one of us will get
we'll
back with you
share
with
some
everything.
information with you. Yes. Mike,
Yeah.
tell us about NADAC's mission real quick so that we can move right on along in our outline for today.
All right. So what we're gonna do is NADAC's mission is to lead, unify, and empower addiction focused professional, which a word I love. I like the addiction focused professionals because that way individuals don't get caught up on titles. When you say addiction focused professionals, no matter what your title might be, you could be I'm not talking against people title, but you can have that title and somebody can be lower than you, but we all in the same family. That's how I see it.
Right. Yeah.
So NADAC's mission is to lead, unify, and empower addiction focused professional to achieve excellence through education, advocacy, knowledge, standards of practice, ethics, professional development, and research. So what we do here at in Joppa, we are the New Jersey affiliate of NADAC. NADAC has affiliates all across the world. We represent the New Jersey district. We represent that particular section, and what we do, we always. I'm a mission guy, literally. We always stay in line with what the mission is from them, and we do whatever that mission requires of us to do, like unifying, staying ethically sound,
Right.
advocate for individuals. That's all part of things that you can't distance yourself away from. So that's NADAC's mission, and we stand underneath that mission, and that makes it also easier for us as the New Jersey affiliate to know what we supposed to do and what we shouldn't do.
And one of the beautiful things about being members of the NADAC organization as a peer as well, that we get discounts on our memberships. We also get an opportunity to engage in free webinars. These memberships and webinars also help us with our CEs towards our renewal of our licenses and certifications. For those that are in a clinical perspective or members, they also get an opportunity to engage in those webinars and get CEs towards their renewals of their credentialing. One of the really great things about NADAC is that it allows you to be able to view the webinars at your own pace.
Yeah.
Because we know we all have a very busy, I like the word productive. We have very productive lives, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard, right, to just kind of fit something in right in that 8 to 4 slot. So this gives us an opportunity, because we're members, to view these webinars and gain these CEs at our own leisure time.
Hey, Miss Carlita, also I wanted to ask, because it's in my head now, in my spirit now. If you're on here and you would like to be one of the moderators with us, we are looking for different moderators, because we know that we can't do everything on our own. So a moderator does something like, for instance, Mr. Brian is putting comments in the comment section, and a moderator monitors the comment sections and let us know, yo, such and such asked this question, or such and such asked this. If you would like to be come one of the moderators, just also let us know, and we can work. We only do it once a month, so it's not taking up all of your time. We do it every fourth Saturday of the month, so that way you can lock that in and be like, well, I know this is the fourth Saturday, and so even if you're not available, we still would like you to be a part of what we're doing, because for to be certified as a peer recovery support specialist, a lot of people think that they have to have the job before the hours can start counting towards their certification. But you can actually volunteer at some agencies and the hours count just like you had the job.
That's right.
so I gotta let y'all know, that's what's up. So I think individuals will be more get into it more if they knew that some of the things that they probably limit themselves from to be a certified peer recovery support specialist.
This is what I would ask for anyone that is on with us today. So now I'm seeing that one of my sponsees is on. I love you, Ariba. Thank you so much. If there's anyone that's on today and you have someone in your circle that is a peer, maybe you can invite them into the conversation today. We would really love to have an engaging dialogue about the ROSC model, which is what we're going to be talking about in a little bit. But yeah, if you're on and you have some people in your circle that you know that are interested in peer recovery support work and are already working as a peer recovery support specialist, invite them to come on to the what I want to call this. I want to say live, but I want to call
it's much needed, because let me read some of the things that on, because I got YouTube chat open on my phone.
Okay, great.
And so one of the questions, or not the questions, one of the thing is they said, Mr. Brian said, thank you for having this meeting. It's much needed.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we overlook that what people probably think it ain't no big deal. But individuals need that. You know what I mean? We
Right,
all need it. We
right,
all need it, right?
right.
So
Yeah.
it's very important.
Yes, thank you, Brian. Yeah, absolutely. We do so much in this field, and not to take away or make light of anyone else's responsibilities or tasks or services that they provide, but all I can do is speak from where I am, and as a peer specialist, we do a plethora of services and provide, and we're always pouring out. And
Yeah,
so this particular space was created for us by us, right? So that we can have a place for us to talk, kind of, not have to be in work mode,
yeah,
but still have some opportunities to talk about some of the things that we deal with at work. So be yourself, get comfortable, get
yeah,
engaged. If there's something that's said or done that resonates with your spirit that you can identify with, give
yeah.
us an emoji, give us a thumbs up, put a comment in the chat to let us know that what we're sharing is actually meaningful to you. Thank you.
So one of the things we're talking about, I don't even think I mentioned this to you, Miss Carlita.
Good.
My job now is have partnered with NJPN to put to be able to have people come take the ethics training, the C card training, so they can all come to my job and I can actually help them work on getting a national certified certifications as well.
Okay,
So
great.
so that
Wonderful.
way individuals who want to be peer recovery support specialists, I'm gonna create. That's why I was telling Brian I'm gonna send them something. I'm gonna be able to make a list and schedule them to be able to take all the trainings and everything, and then we can set up hours for them to do, like if you in Cumberland County area, to do like volunteer services and things like that to work on your certification. So it's actually a good thing. All the technology stuff we don't have to worry about. They setting up the computers, they setting up the cameras, they setting up everything for people to be able to take it. And I'm looking forward to it. It starts in June.
Oh, nice. Great. That's wonderful. Wonderful. Um, I know that we have an upcoming, and I just want to mention this, do a plug real quick for
Yes.
the presentation and research professional day
Yeah.
that's coming up in September. Do we have that flyer still, Mike, that you were able to
I'll
put
try to get let me try to
while
pull
we're
it up.
doing that, while you're looking for that, where professional clinical staff can actually and students can actually send in proposals to submit presentations to be able to participate on that day. And it's looking like we've had quite a few, but we want to employ more people that are doing research on addiction and peer recovery support services. This is a great opportunity to be a part of that day. Mike is going to be looking for the flyer and he'll put it in the chat. In the meantime, can we get any of the people that may be on either the YouTube channel or on the Facebook Live to volunteer to be a moderator for us on today, where you can actually look at the comments and or questions as we're getting ready to go into some of the information.
And let me see. Can y'all see the flyer?
Yeah, can you put that in the chat?
Yeah, I got it.
So they're calling, let me read it real quick. Sorry, Mike. Let
That's
me
all right.
read it real quick. It is the Addiction Prevention and Recovery Today Research Conference. And the date is going to be September 27th, which is a Saturday. It's going to be hosted at Mount Clair State University, and it's from 9 to 1 p.m. And that is being hosted by our NJAPA committee, the New Jersey affiliate of NADAC. So we're looking forward to being a part of that day. They're asking for individuals who present their research findings, explain its importance, and facilitate scholarly discussions on topics that significantly impact the New Jersey recovery community.
Nice.
Great. Yeah. So you can put that. If you guys know of anyone that is interested in presenting, I know I've shared it with a couple of
Me
people,
too.
and my colleagues, that more are on the clinical side of the spectrum to present their research, and even students, people that are students, can also present. So let's get right into it, Mike. Does anybody know what the term ROSC model is, or what does it stand for? ROSC.
Yes. Have you ever even heard of it,
Heard of
or
that?
heard it mentioned, and probably don't know the meaning behind it or whatever? Have you ever heard of it?
The ROSC model. Any questions? Any comments in the YouTube?
No,
Right?
not yet. Not yet. I got both of them. I'm on. I
Okay.
got you. I got both of them.
As you can tell, we love what we do.
Yeah.
And it's important to invite your friends,
Yeah.
colleagues to be a part of this. This is for us, and so we're excited. Thank you, Rebecca, that just came on. Okay, here we go. Facebook user, what does, oh, that's Ariba. What does the acronym mean? And so
Okay.
the acronym of ROSC, ROSC, stands for Recovery Oriented Systems of Care.
Hmm.
Let me say that again. The ROSC model and its acronym stands for Recovery Oriented Systems of Care. So let's go a little bit deeper, and we're going to see what NADAC and the recovery community actually says that it actually means, and what it all entails. Go ahead, Mike. A ROSC model is a coordinated network of community based services and support that is person centered and builds on the strengths and resiliencies of individuals and their families.
It's built on. I love it because it's so much that you can
Yeah,
deal with here. But one part I love is I love all of it. But the person centered part I love, but what I want to focus on is build on the strengths.
yeah,
Because a lot of times when people are going through the recovery type process or journey, whatever title you want to use, a lot of times we overlook. We need to help them focus on their strength. We already know what they weak at. I already know what you weak at. That's I know that from my own personal life. But I want to find out what strengths do you have? Do you have any strength? Or for instance, some of my recoveries don't have a strong family support network. They got a strong recovery support network, but their family, due to their previous lifestyles, has distanced themselves from them. And so me knowing that, telling my recovery, yeah, reach out to your parent or reach out to your mom. Like they don't right at this time, they don't want to deal with me. So we have to try to find out what other strengths we can use to help in that process.
and I love that as well, Mike. What are your recoveries, participants, or consumers support systems outside of the treatment facility that you actually work at? And so that can be family, that can be a place of worship, that can be the person's sponsor.
Yeah.
It should be inclusive of the clinical team. What about their partners, their
Yeah.
husbands, their wives, their partners, and whatever that preference is? We have to respect that, right? How about their children?
Mm-hmm.
Again, like you talked about, Mike, a lot of people and a lot of us, in our active addiction, in our past histories, we burnt a lot of bridges. So,
Yeah.
coming into the recovery process, and whatever the pathway of recovery is for the individual, this is the key word for me, it's always going to be or should be inclusive of the concept of person-centered.
Yeah.
What does recovery look like for the individual?
Yeah.
I can't come in with my own prefix idea and notion of what they should be doing before I've met them, before I've had some type of conversations and connectivity, or even built an alliance with the person that I'm going to be working with. That's something that's important. So let's go into a little bit of some of those examples. So, for example, if someone is in a relationship, and how do we integrate the recovery oriented systems of care into their wellness plans or their person centered care? We need to ask the question.
Mm-hmm.
Ask the question, do you have someone that you're involved with that you would like to be a part of your recovery process and journey? And do we have permission to bring them into, right, your wellness plan? What
Yeah.
does that look like for you?
Yeah. Yo,
Find out. Just ask the
it's
question.
important. It's important that you ask that, because sometimes it's both sides. Somebody might want to get help for a loved one, and then when a loved one is getting help, they want to have that person a part of their recovery type of plan, but that doesn't mean that they want to be a part of. You need to ask. You had to find out, do they want to be a part of it? Because
Right.
that can actually the way I work with my coaches and stuff is the participants is, if it's going to stir up emotions in you, if they tell you no, I don't
Right.
think you should. Don't even try to get them a part of it. They like, you don't think they should. I think they should be a part of it, but where are y'all at in y'all relationships? It's based on that. Do you need more time away from what you did before you ask them to be a part of? Because if they tell you, I don't want to deal with none of that with your recovery stuff, it might trigger something in you, and then that wasn't helpful at all.
Right. The importance is that we have the consent, right? We have the consent to reach out to these outside persons that are not directly linked to their treatment. Most of our clients or recoveries that we're working with are in some form of treatment,
Yes.
so whether that's IOP or OP or and a residential program or sober living program, we still have to have the consent to reach out. So that's the key word there. When we're going and we're trying to bring other people, we may see from their assessments and or from their consent form that they already named some people. So when you're looking through your documentation of your recovery or participant, you want to look to see if there's anybody that's already listed, as you continue to build the alliance with the client. And I use client because that's our agency term, and it's okay, we say recovery and or client. And so once you see that, now you can build on that, as you find more out about the individual. Do they have a another community-based organization that they actually go to? Are they involved with 12-step meetings? Do they do smart recovery? What is the pathway of recovery
Yeah.
that they're in pursuit of? Because we know that there are multiple. Yes, Brian, timing is vitally important.
That's right.
Thank you, Mike, for letting me see those comments as well. It's really important that we build up that alliance. So I wouldn't suggest, going straight to the front, if straight from the door, asking who do you want to be a part of. Build
Yeah.
up your relationship with your recovery, your client. Build up a trusting and honest, relationship, so that they're not so reluctant to share information with you. Any
It
questions? I see a
let's see. Let's see what we got. Let's go back and see.
Rebecca has a couple of great comments as well.
Oh, I see it now. That's Rebecca right there, I think.
Yes. And Ariba as well. Great comments, guys. Let me go with that first. Let me start with that. Sometimes Ariba says, such as a sober living in conjunction with said organizations such as DCPMP. You're
Yeah,
absolutely right. You know, a lot of times people tend to, for whatever reason, in the old school days, look at child support services and DCPMP, which is called today, as from a negative perspective.
yeah,
However, they provide a lot of really positive support, you know, with parenting classes, things of that nature, and also can be an ally when it comes to the recovery support person, the recovery personal centered care treatment plan or wellness plan for
yeah.
the recovery aspect.
And
Always
that's
get permission though.
yeah, but and it's good because when you include that, it's not a negative. It's
Right.
actually helping the process of developing the change when you're dealing with all those different entities. In our recovery, I'm thankfully I'm working the clinical side and in the peer side, and in our capital recovery center building, we're able to like connect the peers to different services that will help benefit them: transportation, um electric, gas,
Mhm.
rent, all that stuff goes a part of taking away barriers
Right.
for that particular time.
Right. I see Rebecca. Great point as well. You know, it is similar, Rebecca, the ROSC model. She says sometimes people say it takes a village to raise a child. I also believe it can take a village helping a person to get to and stay in recovery. That's what the ROSC model is all about. You're absolutely right. And yes, this is about collaborative partnerships, right? The ROSC model is about collaborative partnerships. Who are our partners? Who are our allies? Who are the people that are going to help walk alongside
Yeah,
a recovery client, participant, or consumer as we work with them through their treatment and or recovery wellness plan? Who are the key players? And we only can find that out by building up a strong, open and honest relationship with the person that we're working with. You know, anybody that knows me, they know I kind of shoot straight from the hip, yes, but I
yeah,
also
me too.
I also use moderation, and I also use skilled and timely. I think Brian mentioned timing is very important and or vital. Timely, yeah, timely conversation. So you go with your gut. A lot of what we do,
Yeah,
right, because of the lived experience, we can understand and empathize from what did I want when I was going through
yeah,
the process of treatment and or the beginning part of my recovery journey. You know, did I want someone that was all up in my face telling me what to do? No. Did I want someone that could ask me and help me to get to those goals that were personal for me, that meant something to me, that was even outside of my treatment or from a clinical perspective on the clinical spectrum? Did I have someone that could walk alongside me and say, this is the way to go, or this looks like it might fit, your circumstance a little bit better. Let's take a look at it together. And that is the unity that comes when we're utilizing the ROSC model. There's a unity that's formed between the recovery person, the peer recovery support person, and the recovery. And then as we bring in, with permission from our recoveries, as we bring in those key players, what you'll start to see, and I actually have examples, from my work, I'm and as well as Mike, you'll start to see that person start to light up, as these goals and are being achieved, and people that they know love them, that care about their recovery process they start coming alive.
yeah, yeah.
At one point you don't even have to initiate stuff, they'll start coming looking for you.
Yeah, yeah. They start looking for you to once you build that rapport with the people that we are, the participants we are working with, you start to build that relationship with them. But like you was mentioning, I was listening to a guy talk the other day, and he said something, and I thought about me as a counselor and a peer recovery worker. He said, he said those two guys, he was talking about two different individuals. He said both of those two guys are good. He says, but this one guy, one of those guys has something that you can't teach. And he said it's instincts. He has something that nobody can teach you, and he know how to do it instinctively. And when you're working with peer recovery, when you're working with participants, some things you're gonna have to do it by instinct. You're gonna have to know that this is how I gotta deal with this person, or this is how I deal with that person. It won't be like a tailor-made script that you can go by like that all the time. Like you might have a format or something, but it's some of the stuff gonna have to be instincts. You're gonna have to have, but you got that. Only that comes from a person who's been in those situations. You cannot create that. It's instinctive. Like I know because I've been in that situation, and also what you were saying, like how did I want to be treated when I was actively using? That's how I tried to think. All right, yeah. I don't automatically think. I hear this a lot. I hear somebody say something like, addicts, they always lying. I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, I mean, I understand what they mean, but they mean this they saying it while the individuals in full-fledged recovery they work in their process, they work. I'm like, I think they might be past that particular. What you're saying is when somebody actively using,
right,
but not that person's characteristics. But you got to be able to differentiate when you're working with participants and to be able to help them. Because my ultimate goal is to try to help them get to the destination of never going back to where they came from.
That's good, Mike. Ariba asked the question: can community-based services that support an increase in the improvement and betterment and start? I'm not sure what happened.
What?
I'm not sure. I'm a little unclear. Maybe you can community-based services that support an increase in the improvement and betterment in starving life areas, especially in urban. I'm not clear on the question, Ariba. Maybe Mike can come back to that. I'm thinking, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, Ariba, in the comment section. Are you asking, can community-based services be a part of the ROSC model with your client or recovery? Is that what you're asking?
Let us know. Just explain it.
And as she's thinking about that and helping me to clarify the question,
okay,
I want to do a couple of things that actually fall under, or take a look at some of the things that may fall under the recovery-oriented systems of care. And that sometimes for me, in my position, is termed redirecting back to the clinician, to the psychiatrist, and or other persons on the treatment team. What does that mean, Carlita? I'm glad you asked. That means that I am not professionally or credential wise able to answer questions about specific medications, right? Telling the client what type of medications they should be taking. I am not equipped educationally or in my role as a peer should I be telling them how they should comply or create a treatment plan with their counselor or their psychiatrist or the psychologist who actually may write scripts for M.A.Ts, and we'll talk about that before we close today. So it is very important as a peer recovery support person to make sure that we're staying in our lane as peers, right? And we direct to the clinical treatment team and allow them to do their jobs as well. This allows a more cohesive and unified stance in front of and for the recovery or the client. The reason why this particular subtopic came up on the radar for us, Mike and I were talking, is because sometimes we found in our experience with working or walking alongside some other newer peer recovery support persons, if they have a 12-step fellowship background,
Yeah.
if they have a specific road to recovery that worked for them. Some of them, and this is a general statement, this is not pinpointing, some tend to, gear, speak to, and coerce at times their recoveries towards the path that worked for them.
Yeah, and that's that. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we can't do that. That's something that we should not be doing. We should be looking at it from a perspective of our position titles and our responsibilities or descriptions as our jobs as peer recovery support persons. We stay away from those conversations of treatment med psychiatrists or psychologists, and we
Yeah.
redirect them back to their counselors or someone on the treatment team. Peer recovery
Awesome.
support 1 second, Mike. I just wanted to
Yeah.
say peer recovery support specialists. That component is inclusive, yes, and we're part of that team on the spectrum, but there's a fine line that we cannot cross when it comes to giving clinical perspective or information to the client, patient, recovery, or participant. Go ahead, Mike.
And yeah, because that's a good observation, a good dialogue, because I remember in this and when I'm learning it, when I seen a coach say something like, I'm gonna give you an example, somebody that's on methadone, and they say you need to lower your doses of your methadone. I'm like, you actually can't say that. Yeah,
Right,
I know what you're trying to say, he's like, nah, I didn't take methadone when I was getting off the. I say, okay, but by you saying that, that's a medical professional's job to tell them to take their doses down. You need to refer them back to their doctor
right,
before you say you need to do something, because if they do that and something happens, they're gonna say, well, my coach told me.
right,
So now you liable for
right,
that person. So you want to always guide them back. And it's okay to use the whole recovery process takes everybody. So it's okay to refer them to back to their doctor or back to their counselor. It doesn't make you less, it makes you more effective.
right.
It doesn't takes
Good.
away from you
That's good.
by staying in our lane and connecting all those other resources. Actually, it shows that you're more effective because you know how to do some case management. You
Right.
helping this person here, you helping this person there. um
That's
it's
good.
just something that you have to be aware of. And again, the person, when they was talking to them, they was just giving them, yo, I think in order for you to do this, you got. I said, no, but you can't say that.
Right. They meant well, but
They meant, yeah, but
they
you
meant
can't.
well,
You
but that's not something that we encourage at all as a peer recovery
Yeah,
support specialist. That is also part of our ethics concept in knowing when and what to say to our recoveries as we work with them. Another example is, say someone that you're working with, comes to you and they start sharing about they're on an M.A.T. and they start having some type of um, 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 negative, I'll say a negative side effect to whatever degree it is. We're just speaking hypothetically. It is not our job to tell them to stop taking the medication. It's
no,
not our job to tell to tell them to tell the psychiatrist that they no longer want to be on this because they feeling jittery or they're too
yeah,
sleepy or any of those things. What is our job and role is to redirect them back to the clinical team.
yeah. And well, my supervisor taught me. I also document situations like that,
Absolutely.
because if something happened, not that I referred them or told them to do something. I just documented that they had that experience
Exactly.
in my presence, that they told me that they had
Right.
that. So now,
And what
if
did you
something
say?
else happened,
Right.
yeah. So
That
what
covers
they
us.
said, yeah. Then what
Absolutely.
you
That
do,
covers us.
yeah. So
Absolutely.
documentation is always good. Remember, the ultimate goal is to try to help the people, the individuals we are helping, to be successful. So we
Right.
always try to do that by that, you
You
know.
know, saying that with being successful, really, really, open-ended question that I ask, on the onset within probably the first three connections is, what does recovery look like for you?
Yeah.
you know what does that look like for you?
Yeah.
And that gives people an opportunity to really, you get to hear, what some of their dreams, goals, and aspirations are. You get to see and hear. Mike used the word weakness because we do understand where there's probably deficits. I like to call it, and it's just because of the language that we've embraced for the recovery community, those places of improvement, those growth areas that we need to work on. So that gives you more of a target of where you want to go. Maybe it's someone that doesn't conceptualize well. They can read, but they don't understand it. They may be able to read and they're not able to retain the information long enough to actually navigate their way through it. So a lot of times I am working on that particular area, and I use it as a targeted area to focus on with them. And you know what? People really embrace the fact that someone takes the time to actually sit down with them in their connections, and we're able to read through information and then explain it in layman's terms, explain it in as simple as words that you can find within yourself. And guess what? On top of that, if there's something that you don't know, simply say, I don't know.
I
Don't
don't
try
know.
to.
Yeah, it's it's all right to say. It's not a bad thing to
It's
say it.
not.
You know what I
It's
mean?
not. It's not.
So Brian said, "That's right. Everybody's recovery process is different. That's why a Capital Recovery Center. I
He's
love it. It says it
that.
says what does recovery mean to you? Like that's important. It says
Yeah.
everybody's recovery process is different. I believe that crossing boundaries, trying to be a peer recovery coach slash doctor, everyone must play their set position. That's true because it's very important because if you give somebody that advice, and I tell people this all the time. If it comes down to them having to you give them some type of advice and they take that advice and it all goes wrong and they got to throw somebody under the bus, it's definitely gonna be you. Like they definitely gonna say, "Oh, this person told me to do this," and
Right.
it's gonna definitely be that way. But a
Right.
lot of times, though, that's right, Brian. But a lot of times, it's easy to just try to. My main thing I try to use for the last 10 years is to try to assist individuals or encourage them. Like I already know they can pull it off, they can do it, or they have the purpose and the strength to do it. I just try to encourage them and let them know, I know you can do it. You can do it. You just gotta. We was talking, I was out Thursday and an individual had to go to an appointment. She had to go to this appointment that was like, I want to say 10 blocks away. And at that particular time, everybody was like, how's she going to get to the appointment? How's she going to get here? How's she going to get here? I looked at the person dead in the face. I said, can you get to that appointment? She said, absolutely. I says, y'all panicking, but you got to understand, we are very resourceful people.
That's right.
They will get there. It's not a bird. I'm like, no, she can get there. I'm like, can you get there? It wasn't like a different town where she needed transportation. I was like, can you get to this appointment? It's in the same town. It's like 10 blocks from here. She was like, I'm not even worried about how I'm gonna get there. I know I can get there. But the coaches was thinking, we need to get transportation. We need to get I was like, no, 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 no. That is part of her recovery process because if she needed to go get something to use, she would be resourceful and be able to go get that stuff. So no matter what, she needs to learn how to use the same resources that she have to go get whatever she needed to get. And more importantly, the difference was we didn't go to her to help her get what she wanted. She came to us, so she wanted it. She needed it. She was like, I just need to know where the place is. I don't know where this is at.
I think that's a great point, Mike, because what it does is, for me, what I'm hearing is that there's some boundaries around enabling and holding people accountable for the things that they need to do. And so as a peer, we want to make sure that we have those things in place and we're not enabling our recoveries by trying to do everything for them.
Hmm.
Allow them to come to the table, allow them to exercise their abilities to get the job done for themselves. As they continue to work with you, they'll start to buy into some of those other ways and means that are actually at their fingertips. And like you said, we that are in recovery, we've been very resourceful.
Very. We know how to. And I often I was helping one of my participants try to go to a program, and I did all the calling and this is my strategy with each person. I did all the calling, I hooked up the transportation, and every time they didn't show up for the ride said they wasn't home, they ain't answered, they didn't go to program. So then that, like the fourth time they called me, Mike, I need to go away. Of course, I'm not going to say I'm not going to help you go away, but this time what I did was give them the program's contact information, the transportation person's number, and sure enough, they called me about 2 days later. Mike, yeah, I got a bed for Thursday. The transportation is set up. But you see what I did? I had to help them see, yo, you can do this.
Right.
I did it for 4 times for you and you didn't go. But now that person is in the program, got the transportation set up on their own. And a lot of times people don't understand that we can help them by allowing them to be able to do those things. Like you can do it. You just got to assist them.
Yes, it helps with self-worth, self-esteem, self-empowerment, completing tasks that are needed for our ongoing basis or for the progress in the recovery journey. It brings a sense of self-worth, when you complete something. And so they really appreciate that.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good word you use, because when I talked to that person, when they was letting us know how they was doing in the program when they was coming home, when we doing like case management and everything, and I was messing with it, and I was like, man, I'm so proud of you, did good since I got you in the program. And they was like, you ain't get me in here. I called and got me. But you see how they felt. I knew that they did, but you see how they felt so much better. Like, no, I got me in here, Mike.
That's right. That's right.
But that's good. That's a good feeling for them, though.
I wanted to, before we could be coming down the pike, I wanted to kind of just take a sneak peek, and we'll probably come back to this next month as well. For those that are working with recoveries that are on federal pretrial, I get a lot of those in my particular agency. I work with Oaks Integrated Care, and I work at the COPE division in Mount Clair in Essex County, and we get a lot of federal pretrial recoveries, and some of them, are working, and then they have this kind of mindset. Well, you need to have IOP, and normally that has 3 groups, right, throughout the day, every week, 3 groups per week. And what I'm starting to see a trend in, and you may have this as well, or may have had this experience, is trying to make it mandatory that the clients that are working attend the 3 groups which are during the day, which makes no sense to me. And then when they're not showing up, they're penalized. Yeah. And so as a recovery support person, what we can do, we cannot say don't go to group, or we can, again, going back to that inclusivity, redirecting them to their counselor as well as their PO. Yeah. Right? And explaining, let them open up their mouths and be a voice for themselves. I'm working, and this is very challenging. It makes me look like I'm non-compliant when that's not the case. So if there's some non-compliance that you start to see across the board with any one of your recoveries, you can speak with the counselor and be an advocate, to make a soft suggestion. That's what I call it, a soft suggestion of maybe putting them in an evening group, because sometimes they don't get it for whatever reason, because they're their caseloads are overwhelming or whatever, but we are also part of a voice for the people that we serve, right? So you can bring the counselor into that conversation about maybe transferring from daytime to nighttime or evening groups, which makes it a whole lot easier for the recovery to comply with their treatment plans.
But that's all part of like advocating for. That's one of the domains for a peer
Yes,
recovery worker is advocating for participants. You know what I mean?
yes,
Because you got to advocate for them in situations like that. I always thought about that, even across the board, state IOPs and stuff. All those stuff is because we got such locked on the old system that we're afraid to even change it. Like, modify it. If it was 3 hours, let's go down to 2. Like it's just stuff that need to be changed. That's why it's important for peer workers to be a part of all these things that they vote on with the states and stuff, to be a part of these advocacy boards and stuff like that, because
right.
who else is going to advocate for the person that we're helping when we know that sometimes we think we helping them, or we are actually creating barriers.
Right. And that was my whole point. So sure that we're advocating. We're not necessarily telling people what to do, but we can give a soft suggestion and we can also make recommendations. I'm hoping that, as a peer recovery coach, that you're building also alliances with the treatment team so that when you do speak, they have your words have some kind of weight, because they've now begin to entrust in you to bring, the information back that is important, that is honest, that is ethical, and that also is a positive to the treatment plan overall. I put that question in there, so if there was anyone on the YouTube side, if there was any questions or responses that they wanted to, have come up, then that would be fine.
And I'm gonna take and post, and we're gonna when you can put that question in the Facebook peer group, like when we get out.
Oh, okay.
Like a question,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Mike, for reminding me of that. Listen, even though we only do our Facebook Live once a month right now, if more people come on, we might do it twice a month. So, it depends. You got to tell people about us.
And we're going to start jumping on. I'm going to start jumping on during the week, and doing like a 15-minute snippets or half-hour snippets to see how everybody be going, because everybody have different times and all of that. So we understand that.
Yeah, but you can. The best thing about this is that you can do replay, right, Mike? That's why we wanted to do a different mode of connectivity. Before we go, I wanted to, and I think we're gonna have to come back with part 2 of this, Mike, next month.
Okay.
M.A.Ts. What are they? What is it? It's really a very complex yet relevant topic these days in reference to the recovery community. M.A.T, medicated assisted treatment, which a number of people are engaged in the recovery community, and it's something that we want to make sure that we're not going in with prejudgment. We're not coming in with allowing biases to be to the forefront, and really just making the recovery participant or a consumer uncomfortable with where they are in their treatment.
And I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
And it's important because when I think about it, medication assisted treatment, I always tell people I have before I had my spiritual foundation, I mixed multiple pathways of recovery. When I first started to the process of getting off of heroin and all of that, I was on Suboxones. I did the Suboxone program, and the doctor, not my counselor, the doctor stepped me down off the Suboxones. At the same time, I was doing my 12-step meetings and building my spiritual foundation. They were all the process. pathways I chose. They was all the pathways that I had used. And eventually when my spiritual foundation got stronger, or where I became comfortable trusting in the spiritual foundation that I had, then I started using that. However, even though I know that's three different things, that's out of the multiple pathways, there's a lot more, but that's three different ones that I use in this journey. And that's why when I'm talking to someone and they might be at a particular place of a pathway, I don't be like, yo, I need you to just, you just do this church thing and you got it and you got it and you got it. And I'll be like, I'm not locked focused, like, wait a minute. You didn't even do that, Michael, right? So right. I'm conscious of somebody that might be on M.A.T. and they might be on there for a season. Some people be on there longer. I don't know. I can't. I just know that each individual's process is their own process.
Right.
That's Absolutely. All I know.
In that sharing, thank you for sharing that. Lived experience with us, Mike. Also, when we're looking at multiple pathways of recovery, we have to, really just be very sensitive, watching even our body language, right? When we're talking to our recoveries that may be on an M.A.T, we have to make sure that we are careful of our recovery language. All these concepts are new and are engaging in the recovery community, looking at various options. He mentioned his place of worship. Someone may be into yoga. Someone may be from a religious perspective, may not even believe in that. So it is not our job to make someone believe what we believe, but to find out, again, going back to that question, the foundational question, I believe, is asking, when you have a built alliance with them, what does recovery look like for you? Where do you see yourself? Who's included? What are some of the other outside components that we can bring into that? And when you start to have that kind of conversation, there you have the manifestation of the ROSC model, the recovery-oriented systems of care, which is inclusive. There's collaborative partnerships, and most importantly, it is a person-centered care of wellness that we are engaging in with our recoveries that we're working with. So thank you, each and every person that has participated in the comments, asked questions. My heart and thought and mind is that, please, sir, ma'am, if you would invite someone to come on next month, invite them to the group. We don't do a lot of advertising of other programs and things of that nature. We are here as representatives of the board with the state, the New Jersey affiliate of NADAC. So it's not personal. It is really that this is the content, and we're going to stay under the umbrella and the auspices of the agency that allows us to serve and work in these capacities. So I'm just, I love you already. Even if I don't know you, I love you, and I'm proud of the work that you're doing. We are looking forward to seeing you guys. I'm going to put the question in that I asked about, when a person is non-compliant due to work, like, what do you do? Just to get an engaged conversation and some other shared ideas that we can actually maybe take and implement into our own personal working environments with our recoveries. With
That's
that,
right.
you can close us out. I'm good.
All right, everyone. Thank y'all for joining us today. We will be with y'all again next month. However, just keep checking our page, and we will be popping up doing little questions and little things like that. We are going to also try to do some giveaways and do some type of things where we can have people participate and asking questions and pop-ups like that. So again, thank y'all for tuning in to this Peer Recovery Connection Group. My name is Michael Williams. Thank y'all.
Bye.